All right, guys, here we go. We got another incredible Internet J video, the rise and fall of Channel Awesome, the company that gutted itself. What? Papa gutted itself. Bang. No one was expecting that joke. So let's watch it, and let's hope that it's not really low for some reason, because Internet J videos are very low. Oh, it's low. Okay, well, that's life at this point. Turn myself down.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember, so you don't have to.
Okay. The rise and fall.
Hello,
Interesting
YouTube
intro.
fans. The inventor of the internet, Internet J here. In this mandatory
Damn, this is an interesting angle, Jay. I like the original one.
Zoom meeting, I'm going to be discussing the downfall of Channel Awesome. So Channel Awesome
gonna
ran
be
the widely known That Guy
shooting
with the
shit up.
Glasses content that most of us remember.
I don't personally know who this person is at all. Okay, I just haven't watched Jay for so long, and I miss him. You know, I miss those bushy eyebrows. But the problem is that a Jay is fucking hiding them, bro. He's wearing that horrible beanie. What are you doing, bro? It's not a bad beanie. I just missed the eyebrows.
I certainly do, because it was one of the shows that raised me growing up.
Looks like Tim Pool. What the fuck's going on, Jay?
I scheduled it into my daily routine just like I did with brushing my teeth or showering. And yes,
Wow. Hey, if I did that too, I would barely watch. You know what I mean? My theory is that the plaque buildup is supposed to protect your teeth, guys. That's why you don't need to shave your teeth, okay?
Indians do shower, you racists. I was honestly glued to the host of TGWTG, Doug Walker. His sardonic
just
reviews,
fuck off,
crisp
dude.
intelligence,
I'm
and
tired of
genuine
this shit.
personality was fresh and stood out among the rest. I particularly
Fresh and
enjoyed his
fit,
Ask That
baby.
Guy videos, in which he hilariously answered ridiculous questions.
If you found yourself trapped in an underground Egyptian chamber, how would you escape if you only had a revolver and a pen to help you?
Oh, I'd probably shoot myself, to be honest with you. There's no way I'm escaping. I'd rather just fucking go out on my own terms at that point. That sounds horrible.
I forgot to mention that the chamber is filled with transvestite scorpions and radioactive monkeys.
What is a transvestite scorpion? Like, if that could be kind of hot, I might not even want to leave.
That's a very good question. Actually, no, it isn't. It is the worst question I've ever been asked in my entire life. Shame on you. My advice is to kill yourself and burn in the fiery flames of hell. Trust me, you will be doing the world and
Kind of
yourself
based, actually.
good. Yeah.
His film analysis was also detail-oriented and influenced the way many viewers looked at the big screen. Notably, though, That Guy with the Glasses was part of the Channel Awesome empire.
Guys, it was a joke. I would never take my own life, of course.
It ran like an emotionless business conglomerate, which led to some unpopular decisions and the
Yeah,
mistreatment of certain staff.
yeah.
Blizzard. As a result, Channel Awesome met its ultimate demise. In order to understand how Channel Awesome fit into the online sphere at the time, we have to backtrack a little.
Damn.
You see, back in
let's do it.
2007, YouTube wasn't the monopolistic platform it is now. Rather, it was a baby company that could be felled by
What is the what do you mean monopolistic? I mean, to an extent, YouTube is kind of a monopoly. Like they have a hold on pretty much all internet video shit. I will say one thing though, they seem to they're decent. I don't know. Like that's one of the things I'm afraid about because like they're putting everybody out of fucking business, man. Like TikTok, with their YouTube Shorts to just pay better, especially, and they're like more like I'm probably not using TikTok ever again. Like as for a creator because I just got banned again today for nothing. I had no videos taken down. Like I don't know what's happening. TikTok prioritizes too much of like mass reporting. Like if somebody reports your video, they will ban you before like reviewing it. And all my videos get reviewed for reviewed for whatever, and they always go back up, but it doesn't matter because people are reporting them. Yo, don't fucking body me, bitch. I'll fucking shoot the hell out of you. But yeah, and it's like YouTube is better. They don't just like say like, oh, you don't like a video, we're gonna remove it instantaneously. So TikTok's dying. So they will become. I think that they're gonna end up becoming like a monopoly. And then it's like, are they gonna do the right thing? Because right now, I think that they do. They give people 50%. I think that's pretty fair. What happens if they decide they don't have to? You know.
better competition. So when Doug Walker started making videos,
I
that
called to
year
see
under
what time you're gonna be coming home, so I know when to shower.
the name Nostalgia Critic, he wasn't exactly tied to YouTube. To him, it was merely another website. And well, after he got hit with the multitude of copyright claims, he
bitch.
decided to bounce and created ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com in 2008.
Damn,
the website featured nostalgia.
Everybody was just making their own fucking website, huh? I remember seeing this guy on what is this? I remember seeing this guy on like fucking like working with James Rolfe. I liked the Video Game Nerd. He was cool. Yo, stop fucking with me, bro.
Nostalgia Critic asked That Guy with the Glasses and bum reviews. His brother Rob was a contributor and sometimes made cameos. Nostalgia Critic was an in-depth comedic film review series that served as the backbone of Doug's content. By criticizing even the worst of movies, he demonstrated there was always an entertainment value to be found. People loved watching Doug dish the dirt and dissect plots like they were frogs in biology class. His fast-paced, cracked-out reactions were also insanely addicting.
This is the shit! So start off like that copter was taken down years ago. And then they're like, get out of the copter and we'll shoot. And then he's like, wow, that's a trans.
Oh, I can see why his content didn't last super long. This is just like a very high energy. I don't think that people necessarily respond to it. He probably just, is he still like content? He probably just changed a little bit, and he's just like a little less high energy. And there's nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. Maybe when I was younger, I'd probably be into it, but I'm an adult viewing it for the first time, so it seems more cringe to me.
For me, you know, it's so cool. And he's just like,
Ask That Guy with the Glasses, on the other hand, featured a robe-wearing, cigar-smoking, book-reading Doug who sarcastically roasted inquisitive people. Now, I want to mention Walker didn't launch ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com as an independent venture. Instead, he relied on the media company Channel Awesome to operate it. Channel Awesome was created by Mike Ellis, Bhargav Raju, and Mike Machado, who served as CEO. Their relationship was symbiotic as the company provided Doug with HR, advertising, and financing while he supplied the engaging content. Although Doug was the main focus of ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, other creators were featured too. There was The Angry Joe Show, Todd in the Shadows, and The Cinema Snob. In exchange for posting videos, they received valuable exposure, which hopefully led to increased growth. I mean, the website attracted a ton of attention. Nostalgia Critic alone averaged around 1 million views per month.
Damn.
While that might not be an impressive...
Wait, on his, just on his thing? Just on his, wow, I took a lot of fucking damage on that. Just on his website? That's fucking awesome. Good for him.
Number today, it was quite an achievement back in the late 2000s. Through a combination of ad revenue and donations, Walker made enough money to quit his job as an illustrator and focus on That Guy with the Glasses full time. This only increased his quality and led to an even bigger surge in popularity. Doug Walker went on to make 4 films: Kick-Assia, Suburban Nights,
Oh
To
my
Boldly
God.
Flee, and the
I didn't
poorly
think the
received
fucking
Pink
fire
Floyd
was
parody
gonna go
Nostalgia Critics The Wall. By 2011, Channel Awesome had over 7 full-time staff and over 20
He never changed. That's why he's considered cringe now. Yeah, I get that. You guys kind of update it with the. You gotta go with the flow. You gotta move with the times. Oh, you fucking bastard. Oh, I'm just dying. I'm just gonna die.
contributors. However, in 2014, ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com mysteriously shut down and rebranded as ChannelAwesome.com. In addition, there was such a large exodus of producers that BuzzFeed looked like a respectable organization in comparison. So, what happened?
Producer allegations.
In March 2018, several years after the rebrand, a few ex-producers went fucking ham on Twitter about how terrible it was. First, the CEO, Mike Machado, was called out for hating women. Doug and his brother were also apparently complicit. Also, Machado is a fuckhead who complained about all the women who joined the site. I saw him once in person since we live in close proximity and scowled at him quite visibly. Yes, he definitely does not like women. I believe he called me a troublemaker at one point. In addition for being...
See, he would do really well now with all the high-value male speak that's going on.
a sexist with terrible ideas that would tank the site if not for Doug's luck. The Walkers are also complicit in just letting him do all that as their CEO.
I mean, I feel like that, like the whole hating women thing is like normal on the internet. No, like was that something that actually canceled them back then? Surprised.
Also fuck them as well. To make matters worse, the CEO was accused of using Skype to verbally abuse one of the producers. I stayed as far away from large group conversations as possible when in my very first year 9 years ago, Machado mistitled one of my vids on the site and I said on the forums there had been a titling mistake and then he Skype screamed at me for making him look bad. Shit filled a metaphorical fedora past the brim when another producer...
Hold on 1 second.
There had been a titling mistake and then he...
Stay far away from large groups. I was very first year 9 years ago. So, wait, well, okay, so I don't know the specifics, but in their defense, this girl works for them and then they mistitled one of the videos. So she went to the forums and said that there was a mistake. But if you worked there, wouldn't it be better to not publicize it like that? I don't know. I might be a little irritated too if I'm interpreting that the correct way.
He Skype streamed at me for making him look bad. Shit filled a metaphorical fedora past the brim when another producer, Lindsay Ellis, aka the Nostalgia Chick, claimed she was pressured into doing an implied rape scene in the movie To Boldly Flee. The scene that made it to the final cut was a more watered down version though.
Whoa, that's spooky.
Linkara, you know, there's a meeting downstairs.
Oh, my mother's a fucking prostitute. Holy fuck.
I'm gonna give you two a month.
No, don't fucking hurt me. Dude, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna get fucking so
What the
upset.
hell is taking them so long?
Your brain, you look like you heard two people having sex.
How would you know?
I'm French. We know.
Damn,
Well,
I
are
died.
they coming?
Well, that's a loaded question.
What?
Oh, nothing. They're getting busy, keeping busy with heterosexual extracurricular activities.
Surprisingly, Ellis's
Okay. I mean, that just sounds like a cringe movie. Okay. Sure.
accusations were met with a mixed reaction. Some immediately jumped to her defense while others felt her words were baseless and lacked proof. A Reddit post mentioned she was...
Well, so if they toned it down, like, okay, so they might have been like, oh, we want to add like a fucking rape scene in this or whatever, or like a sex. It doesn't seem like it was supposed to be that, but maybe they were. And then you could say no, and it sounds like that she might have, and then they just didn't care. It might make her uncomfortable, but if it's part of a movie, and it's plenty of movies that do that, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Joe, wake up.
Happy to do the implied rape scene and even made a rape rap in the past. I'll say it again. I don't buy it. Lewis, sure, dude's a classic white knight. Lindsay, not so much. She was enthusiastic about recording the moans and screams, and this she didn't have a problem with the date rape joke she filmed with Spoonie or the rape rap that she wrote and starred in. Whether the producer's allegations were true or not, the negative PR they generated really hurt Channel Awesome. I mean, it wasn't too difficult to believe a male-dominated business could discriminate against women or pressure a producer to do an uncomfortable scene. As a result, the company's image morphed in many people's mind from positive to creepy. And trust me, no company wants to develop a bad image because it severely hurts their brand.
I do. That's
the situation went from bad to James Charles when a
The joke is that I look bad. That's the joke there. Sorry, a lot of fat jokes today, huh? Holy fuck, there's a lot of shit.
73-page Google Doc called Not So Awesome was released in April 2018. It was a collection of experiences and accusations from over 20 different employees. They included, but were not limited to, poor communication, mismanagement, verbal abuse, bullying, and sexual misconduct. And while the document created a shitstorm so bad it was like a septic tank was blown up with C4. I don't have time to go over each point in detail, so I'm going to focus on what I felt were the main highlights. Okay. 1. The COO, Mike Ellis, was accused of repeatedly sexually harassing an HR employee named Holly Brown. She was let go in 2010, but it was revealed the company put her in a safe house for a few days in case Ellis threatened her with physical violence.
What?
Brown claimed she was a target because other producers often complained to her about being mistreated. 2nd, an anonymous employee stated Channel Awesome knew about a certain sexual deviant for over a year. The deviant was later released from the company.
I mean, look at what happened in like Blizzard. Obviously, you mentioned that before. There's like this kind of shit was especially back then so normalized. It's so fucked up. Where you'd have like dudes in positions of power that would like hit on the girls. It's pretty fucked. So.
3rd,
or not even just hit on them, but like harass them, make them feel uncomfortable, not take no for an answer, that kind of shit. So I really wouldn't doubt that this happened.
Mentioned there wasn't enough done to protect female producers from abusive comments. 4th, multiple employees said they weren't compensated for their work. In response to everything, the company posted this non-apology on Twitter that reeked of corporate lexicon. Channel Awesome then posted another more detailed response which was nearly as bad as Logan Paul's. First, they claimed everything was due to disgruntled employees. I found this kind of odd considering a vast multitude of producers wouldn't just accuse the company of various egregious misdeeds for no reason. Not only would they have nothing to gain, but rather the opposite would be true. They risked their entire careers to fight for a better workplace. In addition, Channel Awesome wrote, "We cannot address all 73 plus pages of accusations against us in this forum, but we will address the most egregious now, which I think is a major cop-out." They owe it to the people who took the time to write them. Otherwise, it silences those who already felt their voices weren't being heard. It's obvious the Channel Awesome leadership was doing their best to control the narrative. Unfortunately, the reputation was basically that of Two Girls, One Cup, a disgusting internet sensation.
Whoa! Don't insult Two Girls, One Cup like that, you know? You guys ever, like, you guys ever watch, like, a piece of media? And, like, let's say you watch a movie, like, you have a movie, like, maybe it's your favorite movie from when you're a kid, and then you get older, and you're like, wow, this movie actually sucks. Or you watch a movie that when you're a kid and you don't understand, like, the deeper meaning behind it, and then you get older, and then you watch it again, you're like, wow, this movie was actually fucking incredible. Right? All I'm saying is that, like, a lot of you guys saw Two Girls, One Cup when you were younger, and you don't know if you find it disgusting anymore, unless you give it unless you watch it again. Okay, I recommend that you shit through it and give it another shot, guys. Okay, it's not that bad if you really. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We will not tolerate disrespect of Two Girls, One Cup, though. Okay. Yeah, that shit happens sometimes, exactly.
Sadly, Doug seemed to be caught in the middle of all the drama.
Why is your
While he didn't do anything
lower and
particularly reprehensible, he did turn a blind eye to what was going on.
True.
But before we tar and feather him publicly, we have to consider that Doug probably never had a real choice. That's because Channel Awesome was widely suspected to have owned the IP rights to that guy with the glasses. This implies Walker was forced to play ball or suffer the consequences. I am guessing he was faced with the difficult decision of siding with his friends or staying out of it and letting the business operate. I speculate him choosing the latter hurt the others deeply, which generated spite. Many of the producers were likely inspired by...
Yeah, I mean, if everybody got together, he should have said, fuck it, let's do the right thing. I mean, you know, I can understand being in a position where, like, you don't want to call out your boss or something because you don't want to, like, lose your job and shit. It happens in the real world every day. It's part of the problem. But, like, you know, you're an independent creator. It would be good to do something, you know? It's defend your friends, especially if you're making a lot of money. Although I wonder how much they were actually making, because, like, you know how these fucking businesses are. Sometimes they just, like, fucking milk these people dry and they don't really give them as much as they deserve.
Walker felt some sort of camaraderie being associated with him. But since he was the cash cow, he was spared from the onslaught of issues and was likely prioritized, but had to stand by while Channel Awesome destroyed his friends. About 2 days after the second response was published, pretty much every single producer quit Channel Awesome. The Walkers and a few others were the only ones left. I guess they did.
Must have been real bad if all of them.
Sorry, that was cringe.
Hey, that was James Ralphie.
Awesome. The Walkers and a few others were the only ones left. I guess they didn't walk her away. Sorry, that
I got
was
him.
cringe.
That was good. I like that one, Jay. I love that joke. That was just for me.
In August 2021, Doug appeared on Double Toasted and discussed the controversy for the first time in an online setting. He stated the company got too big, which led to poor communication.
Has anything changed?
Okay.
Have you felt like, well, maybe I'm more humble right now? Have you doubled down on the responses that you've given people? And just overall,
how did you move forward?
I mean, it's always something where, I mean, you just gotta see it for what it is. And I think, for me anyway, and for all of us, we tried the big thing that we always acknowledge, yeah, we were never that great at, was communication, because we had just God knows how many people in there, and we'd always have problems coming at us. And, you know, I think we bit off more than we could chew, probably, with that. So there's a reason where after all that happened, we just kept everything in-house.
He then rambled on in a vague...
I mean, there's not a lot of context there. You made it seem like he said boiled everything down to non-communication, insinuating that he was saying that like the sexual harassment was just not because of non-communication. It seems more likely that like he was just bringing it up for context as like part of a greater conversation. There probably was a communication issue on top of the sexual harassment stuff.
Manner about how he enjoyed his work and appreciated everything.
I really love the people I work with, and I really get along with. I'm so blessed to have, you know, these folks I'm working with, and we try to learn from the things that we've done in the past. I mean, some of it I'm like, well, that, you know, some of it's stuff I'm like, yeah, I wish I didn't do that, and other things I'm like, well, that doesn't seem, you know, like too big a deal, and people still kind of go back and forth on it, what's a big deal, what isn't, and so forth. But I think the big thing is not going too big, so you keep focus on what really is important, which is, you know, the people that do work very hard for you, that you see, you know, all the time, and try to treat them with as much respect as possible.
Walker's polite response regarding the drama was certainly disappointing, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, he's obviously going to do that for his own like career and stuff. I understand that. You know, it'd be nice if he had a little more of a backbone, but you know, I can understand the professional setting part, especially since my understanding is back then a lot. Oh, it's right here. A lot of these people, I think Jay brought up before, they don't even own their own brand. You know. So it makes it so that like they can't even like work. I don't even know how much of I don't know if he can even really commit to the character. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, if I quit this job, I lose my entire persona because they own it. Sometimes I think shit like that happens.
Whether he was contractually obligated to skirt the subject or not, the fact is he decided to stay on with Channel Awesome even after the allegations came out. He's actually still with them. And the Nostalgia Critic series is still the crown jewel of Channel Awesome. However, while Walker's videos currently generate hundreds of thousands of views on average, it's a far cry from the millions he received before. I also think the content is really cringy because it's full of forced humor and unnecessary special effects.
Oh, here we go, here we go.
Sounds like an Internet of Jay video.
Here we go.
What's going on here? Are you all taking it easy because it's January again?
Maybe.
Usually I take it easy because it's December.
Did you forget you have a review to do?
No.
Then why aren't you reviewing it?
January reviews suck.
Yeah, nobody cares about movies in January.
That's not true. There's tons of great movies released in January, like...
Oh, God! Ah!
Just do it.
Beyond that, Doug sounds unhappy and lacks the enthusiasm he once had.
Man, we're mosquitoes again?
We've done this a million times.
In fact, I think complaining about it has been done a million times.
Well, I think this joke is that he's supposed to sound non-enthusiastic here, but...
Who repeats something that's been so overdone?
Without adding anything new to it.
Granted, I understand Doug has been doing this for about 15 years now, but it's almost like his passion is entirely evaporated. I mean, all the recent Nostalgia Critic videos are filled with overlays that cover Doug's face for 99% of them.
Well, it's probably has something to do with the fact that he's gotten older, but he's still playing this character that he probably used to be really fun for him, and now it just feels like a drag. And you know, he doesn't want to experiment with doing something different for whatever reason.
I wonder if it's because his face shows that he's not into it, but that's just a theory. Either way, it's unfortunate because his facial expressions are as entertaining to watch as Vsauce's. In my opinion, Walker isn't to blame, but is rather someone who sat on the sidelines while the corporate blaze of drama burned his friends alive. I feel like he just wanted to stay out of the business side of things. But by failing to speak up, he got
more that he just wanted to keep his job, but I get what you're saying.
to witness Channel Awesome destroy themselves from the inside out. That guy with the glasses was an era of the internet that will never return again. Its demise serves as a glorious reminder of what once was like the ruins of Rome. Just like with Fred, Ray William Johnson, and Smosh, that guy with the glasses was gutted by a corporation. Alas, we have seen yet another YouTube OG relegated to nostalgia. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bye, Jay. Lovely as always.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.